In some cases, they've been in the Lake Superior water for over 100 years, so maybe it's no surprise that the 4 sets of pilings you can still see in Marquette's lower harbor have quite a bit of history behind them. If you stand on the Founders Landing boardwalk, you can see 2 of those sets of pilings. The set closest to the big dock traces its line all the way back to the mid-19th century. This was the home of the Cleveland Dock, the one dock that survived the Great Fire of 1868 and was then used to bring in the material that rebuilt the city. Once that dock came down, the pilings were used for a variety of merchandise and shipping docks by the Spear Company. And that walkway that you can still see woven in and around the pilings, well, that once went all the way out to Ripley's Rock. And, by the way, those are the same pilings upon which the city of Marquette is planning on building a new marina and lake walk. The pilings on the south side of the boardwalk were originally put down for DSSNA Dock Number 1. This was the behemoth of Marquette docks, extending almost half a mile into Lake Superior. In fact, if you ever want to see just how big this dock was, look down the remaining pilings and you'll notice a green marker way out in Lake Superior. That is where Dock Number 1 ended. After the original dock was torn down, the pilings were reused several times, last to bring in merchandise and fuel oil for the tank farm that sat nearby. The 2 sets of remaining pilings on the north side of the big dock are both being used at the moment. The current Association Dock sits on the pilings of DSSNA Dock Number 5, which was the last major wooden dock in Lower Harbor. That was the dock that made way for Dock Number 6, the one that we all enjoyed playing around this past winter. And the set of pilings right next to that one has a lot of history to it. The Fish Dock sits on pilings that were first sunk for the old Iron Mountain Railroad dock. This was the first dock in Lower Harbor connected to a steam railroad all the way back in the mid-1850s. Since then, it's been used as a coal dock, a merchandise dock, and now, of course, as a privately owned dock. If you remember the very first pieces of the past we ever produced, this was the dock that was fed by the rail line that was eventually replaced by East Main Street. And there's one other set of pilings we should probably mention. Those would be the pilings from the old Jackson Dock. You really can't see them these days, but they're the pilings that probably have more traffic on them than any other set in Lower Harbor. You see, a few of those surviving Jackson Dock pilings, which also helped support part of the old Spear Coal Yard, are among the pilings that are sitting right underneath and giving support to the bike path that separates Lower Harbor Park and Lake Superior.